Well, hello everybody. Welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. It's Hump Day here at Computer America, and we have our correspondent Sandy Berger is going to be joining us for both hours. Our consumer electronics experts can be
1 minute until showtime.
As always, Sandy has a lot of fun things to talk about, including Pokemon Go, which is like everybody's talking about it these days. And by the way, I downloaded Pokemon Go, but I haven't had a chance to try it yet, Ben.
Yeah, you know, those 30-second apps take so long to set up.
I know. I got around to doing it now. Anyway, we're going to start 2 hours of the Computer America Show. We're going to be starting in about 40 seconds, and it should be a fun program. So sit back, relax, as we bring to you 2 hours of Computer America right here. Okay. And the countdown begins. And we have 20 seconds to go. I see you've got your page all set up, Sandy. It looks really nice. Okay. Okay, 10 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it is Wednesday. It is the middle of the week, better known as Hump Day, and we have a terrific show planned for you here on the program, as always. Okay, now and for both hours, we're going to have consumer electronics expert and Computer America correspondent Sandy Berger is here with us for both hours. And we're looking forward to that, and she's going to have some really interesting things to talk about. The 2 hours just kind of whiz by with her, and it's always a pleasure having her here on the program. If you want the unique opportunity to be able to talk to Sandy or myself or to Ben, we make it really simple. Just pick up the phone, give us a call. 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. Or you can head over to our internet webpage, ComputerAmerica.com, and you'll see right there on any page there, the menu bar, you'll see it says Home, then it says Live Stream, and if you hover over that, you'll see it says Submit a Question. Click on that. It'll take you to a question submission page. You can type in anything you like and hit the Submit button, and Ben and I will see what you've typed instantaneously. It's that simple. The other thing we invite you to do is watch our live video stream. Again, head over to ComputerAmerica.com. It says it right there on any page on the menu bar, Live Stream. If you click it, it'll take you to our live streaming video page, and you'll be joined to the show already in progress. You can see the show as well as hear the show there. And basically, you can see Sandy, you can see Ben. You can't see me today, but hopefully that'll change shortly. But you can see Ben, and Ben has the technology to display websites, videos, movies, links, that type of thing. So it just makes for you can see what we're talking about. But the other thing that Sandy does and provides for us is there are cheat notes. She actually takes the time to make a word processing document, and we make that available to you as well. Just if you go to ComputerAmerica.com and you click on the on today's show, Computer America Consumer Electronics Expert Sandy Berger, you click on that, you'll see a large picture up here of Sandy, and also you'll see something that says cheat notes. If you click that, it'll open up a Google Docs document. It's the same document that we're working on here from today on today's show, and you can see everything that we're talking about, including the title, pictures, images, and most importantly, clickable links that you can click on so you can actually get more information about the things that we're talking about on today's program. It's just we offer so many different ways for you to interact with our show, and that's just one more that thanks to Sandy that she provides us every month. So there it is, and again, you'll see it has today's date on it, so you know you have the right one, July 13th, 2016. But you can see it there. All you have to do is click on that cheat notes link, and you get it. Okay. So that said, when we get started, Ben, I always like to ask you, is there anything that you want to talk about before we get started on today's show?
A little bit of fun fact. A Chinese lottery winner. Craig, I don't know if you remember the movie Big Hero 6?
But yes, we saw Big Hero.
With the character Baymax?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, the Chinese lottery winner dressed as Baymax so that relatives and thieves wouldn't be able to recognize him when he went to go collect his winnings.
Oh, my goodness.
So he accepted his lottery winnings in a costume so people wouldn't be able to recognize him, which I think is a pretty smart move.
But how did the lottery people know that it was really him?
I'm sure behind the scenes, you know, obviously take off the head, obviously. But, yeah, no, I just thought that was weird.
He always reminds me of the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but fortunately, not a lot of people remember the iconic advertising, you know, kind of characters from the 70s and 80s. So.
Yes, but they're gonna be reminded because the new Ghostbuster movie comes out this week, I believe.
That's right.
So
it comes out? I thought it was already out.
It may be. I thought it was coming out this week. It may have come out last week.
It may have come out.
It may.
I again have not been following that closely. So you're right. Movies opening this week. Ghostbusters. You are absolutely right.
There you go.
So yeah, but no, let's not deviate into movies. So yeah, any other news? Computer America. Check out all of our stuff. That's where we host all of our videos. When the website is actually working, it's where we host our videos, articles, reviews, you know, stuff like that, and of course show notes, which are going to be crucially important today. With Sandy Berger because she makes great show notes. And again, check out the video portion because it's just one less thing you have to go hunt for when I could just show you on my screen what we're talking about. So please, you know, check out the video, check out our website, and yeah, hope you enjoy the show.
You know, you make it sound like our website is always down, and it isn't. It just
it was down that one time just a couple days ago.
And before that, it's been up for so reliably for a very long time. So. You know, because let's face it, ComputerAmerica.com is the internet home of a radio broadcast, and we want to make sure that people have access to it. But I understand that you're going to be doing a refresh. We like to do that.
Yeah, you know, one thing that I don't like about our current website is that we get a lot of feedback of it's kind of hard to navigate. As in, you know, some people when they want to listen to the show, they want to pull up ComputerAmerica.com, and they have to kind of hunt for where to find, you know, either the live stream or the archives, or like they have to kind of poke around or know how to navigate the website. And I think for what we do, we need to make it so obvious that a one-eyed bonobo can find what we need them to find.
We have many bonobos listening to the show, though?
Yes, we have tons of one-eyed bonobos. So I think the refresh is going to focus on usability more than actual, you know, kind of... Well, of course you want it to look good, but I think usability needs to be upped quite a bit.
Although I took away that show lounge, and I just changed it so it says live stream right there on the home page, so that's kind of hard to miss. It's right there in the menu bar, so we did make it a little bit easier to find.
But like our website is set up in a blog kind of format, and we don't really use that to the best of its capabilities, I feel. So again, this is stuff that's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks, and we you know, expect a new Computer America website, and hopefully you know, depending on what WordPress has to say about it, maybe even a mobile site. You know, so we make it very, very simple. If you want to pull out your smartphone, we can make it simple and do that as well. So,
excellent.
We'll see what we can do.
Yes, we will. All right, so let's bring Sandy into this fun and frolic we call Computer America. Joining us today is Sandy Berger. She is a consumer electronics expert, well versed in things like printers, cell phones, digital cameras, and other electronic devices. Her website is CompuKiss.com, plus she also writes for Hardware Secrets. And Sandy is one of our Computer America correspondents who appears here on the show on a monthly basis. Sandy, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hey, I'm really good. How are you?
We're doing fine, and we're
doing
so
good.
Yeah,
Great.
we're so happy to have you here on the program. And let our listeners know about one more thing about Sandy. And I always say this every time she's on with us. And one of the things that I like about what Sandy does is that when she talks about a product, you're going to get the real scoop about it. She's not being paid to do a puff piece about a product. She's going to give you the real scoop on whether she likes it or whether she doesn't like it. And if she likes it, she'll tell you she likes it, and she'll tell you why she likes it. And if she doesn't like it, well, she'll tell you it doesn't like it, and she'll tell you why she doesn't like it. It's just real simple. And if she's somewhere in the middle of the road, she'll tell you those reasons as well on a particular product. It's not a black and white world. She might like some things, she might not like other things about a single product. So you'll hear the whole story.
Okay, well, let's just put that to the test real quick. Why not? Sandy, how do you feel about our website?
Oh boy, now I'm put in the middle, taking sides. I have to agree with you, Ben, that you have to make it as easy as you possibly can. And I think the show, when people are able to listen or to view it, it should be front and center on the main page.
Right.
So, Craig,
Okay.
I'm not in trouble now, am I?
No, you're not. Although if you no, but not at all. Although if you look at the page, you'll see it does say live stream now. I did correct that.
It does now, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing. Until Ben makes it better.
I feel like we can make it even simpler, which is good. You said
Yeah.
you want simple. You want simple.
All right, and because we like to keep things simple, not implying that people who go to our website, in any way, shape, and form,
Are simple?
yes, are simple.
Well, that's the idea of my CompuKiss website. That's why it's called KISS. It's not keep it simple, stupid, but keep it short and simple.
There you go. Okay.
So
Keep it short.
you just need to apply CompuKiss to yours, as Ben is going to do, and you're all set.
There we go. All right. And we're going to be probably using, I don't know if we're going to be using the same service. We seem to like WordPress, but WordPress is a little bit more technical than, let's say, Wix or some of these other web creation sites. But I'll leave that in Ben's capable hands of deciding where he wants to do it and how he wants.
I think Ben needs to have a little more technical, because he needs to be able to expand his technical knowledge and to express his technical knowledge. So I think WordPress is the way to go.
Yeah, sadly enough. I have to learn and do things. What kind of
Yeah, that's the
technology is
idea.
this?
Technology is also called constantly learning.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, WordPress definitely has, as opposed to a couple other services we've used in the past, WordPress has a lot more tools and a lot more flexibility in what you can actually do. It's not as plug and play, and of course that means you have to learn a little bit more, but of course that means you can make a lot of cool things happen. So
That's
I
right.
think you're right, Sam. Yeah.
My website is done, CompuKiss website is done in Joomla, which is even more complicated, but I also have my blog, and my blog is done in WordPress, so just to be aware of that. So.
Right.
Out of curiosity, you chose, what was it called again?
Joomla?
Joomla, yeah, okay. And you chose that because it was more complicated, but it had more features?
Because it was more complicated.
Not because it was more complicated, because it could do exactly what I wanted to do. The CompuKiss website is heavy in content. And to be able, at the time that I actually put the website up, WordPress was more in its beginnings and couldn't do what I needed it to do. Right now, I probably could move to CompuKiss to WordPress, but that would be a much too massive of a thing. The CompuKiss website is like 12 years old.
Have you thought of, or have you looked at services like Wix? Because they've come a very long way as well.
I have, and you're right, they do. But as you said before, you don't have control over a lot of things with those that you would have with, say, WordPress.
Right.
All right.
So,
okay.
just a thought.
Yes, a thought. All right. Well, that's it. Let's get to it again. We're going to start at the beginning. And this is, of course, we actually talked to our gamer correspondent, Josh Boykin, yesterday about this story, and we talked for about 45 minutes. It was yeah. Well, we had a lot to talk about, but I certainly think it warrants some more attention, and I'm also curious on your perspective on this. Of course, I'm talking about Pokemon Go. which is just hitting every place. It's breaking lots of records. It's an amazing, fabulous game, which is using it's using augmented reality, and it's literally people are saying, hey, I have to go outside to play a video game now, because I'm going to play a video game.
Right. Now, I wasn't able to listen to your show yesterday, so tell me what Josh had to say from his perspective is as a gamer. So.
Well, let's see. That whole conversation only took an hour, so. But yeah, no. What Josh said, and really, we really didn't disagree too much, was that Nintendo can literally print money by slapping Pokemon on something, and by slapping it on a game called Ingress, which is the kind of before game of Pokemon Go. It is such a fun game, and it hits a lot of good points between nostalgia, Pokemon, of course, and it's just fun to play.
Okay. Well, I agree with Josh. It is fun to play. Now, Craig, you said that you downloaded it, but you haven't played it yet.
Right. I just literally downloaded it. I just had a kind of a hectic day yesterday, but since after the show, but not making excuses. It's just I did download it. I do have it. I just haven't really implemented it yet. I will probably take it, go outside, and see if there are any Pokemon, poking around in the streets around.
Well, you can start it off right in your office or wherever you're at right now. And your first Pokemon character will appear right on top of your desktop or whatever. I just took a screenshot of mine yesterday when I did that. So you don't even have to be outside to start the game.
Did you capture him, or did you let him go?
I captured him. My first capture, it's a big deal.
The point isn't to let them go, Craig. The point is you got to catch them all.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And that's how Nintendo is making their money on this. The game, it's been generating $1.5 million a day.
Oh.
And that's all in-app purchases.
Wow.
So, in other words, people have played the game so much that they are ready to go to the next level and to buy things that aid them in capturing the Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what my understanding is. That's what the in-app purchases do. I mean,
That's right.
If you don't want to walk all the way over to get more capture pods or whatever you call them, you can actually
Pokeballs. What? Whatever.
What do they call? What do they call?
Pokeballs.
Okay.
Balls.
Yeah,
Pokeballs.
Yeah, Pokeballs. So if you don't want to, you can walk and get them. There's a Pokeball generating area where you can get them. But if you don't want to go there and you just want to buy, 10 or 15 or 20 of them, whatever you want, you can do so. It just makes things a little easier, and in many ways just makes it go more. Things move along more quickly.
Exactly. Makes you able to go higher, faster.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And if you get hooked on this, I can see how easy. And again, $1.6 million a day.
A day, and that was from the Wall Street Journal, so I assume it's a pretty reputable figure.
Wow.
I'm surprised it's so low. I mean, when you talk about it was launched one day, and I think I read the news story that 2 days later, it was more used than Twitter. It exploded in popularity. People were waiting for it, and when it finally came out, it exploded in popularity so much that they've released in Europe, and again they had to shut down the European side because the servers were so stressed they couldn't keep it up. So they just had to take everything down and say it'll come back at some point.
Right, and you've got to realize that they have not released it in Japan yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when they do release it in Japan, where Pokemon comes from and where everybody knows Pokemon, it's going to be unbelievable.
Now, you see, when I mispronounced it, Ben was all over me.
She's a guest. I don't want to do that to a guest.
Thank you.
But if I have to, it's an O and not an A between M and N, so it's Pokemon. But, okay, yeah, whatever.
Well, actually, it's an E with an accent.
No, that's Poke. That's after the K and the M, but the M-O-N.
Mon, yeah.
So, Pocket Monsters is what it is the short form.
Okay, you're right. Okay,
yeah.
Got it. Thank you, Ben.
I grew up with this crap. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, that's an interesting part about this, is that the reason that it's been so wildly popular, I believe, is that the millennials have all grown up with this, and they know the characters, even if they haven't done the trading cards and all that. They're aware of it, And so when this game came out, they were like, wow, I got to have it. And then once you try it, it's a great game.
It is a great game. It gets you out. It gets you moving. It feels good to play it. Like it's rewarding if for no other fact than yes, you catch Pokemon along the way, but it's also rewarding because you realize, oh, I just spent 4 hours outside walking around visiting places. It's rewarding, besides what you actually get in the game.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. And the augmented reality part of the game. I think last month we talked about some of Microsoft's augmented reality,
Yes.
and they were calling it mixed reality, which I like even better than the word augmented. But for anybody who doesn't know what that means the device, the game is using the camera in your cell phone to show you exactly what's in front of you in reality, but then it's augmenting that by putting these characters on the screen so that you can chase after them.
And it works not only with your phone, but also if you have an iPad, a larger tablet, it'll work with that as well. So
that's right.
Different versions.
And it works on Apple and Android right now.
Yeah.
Not Windows Phone, but
well, yeah, and there's certain Android phones that it won't work on. It was with the Intel Atom processor. I know that there was some mention that they were having difficulty with it. Although it's the ones that Intel is kind of phasing out.
Yeah, I think those were older phones.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Still, like it garnered like 22,000 signatures. People wanting them to make it available for their device as well. But the point is, it looks like this. I think we can safely say that this is a hit. This is a
yes, and it's the first one of its type. That has combined all these things. It's combined augmented reality, and you go to certain places, so it's all done by GPS, and they've done a wonderful job at creating these spaces to go to, and there's places you can go to meet other people and groups, and it's very, very well done.
Well, you see, the idea here, of course, is it's getting people to go outside. Rather than staying home and sitting on the couch, this is actually encouraging people to go outside and socialize in ways that they hadn't been able to before.
Because the Pokemon that you want, you may around, at least around me, I have 4 or 5 different Pokemon. They're all bugs because I'm in the middle of the forest. But also there's a river, so I get like a couple water type Pokemon. But there's only maybe 5 to 10 different kinds of Pokemon that a person can catch. So if you want to catch a water Pokemon, you have to go to the beach. If you want to catch bug Pokemon, you have to go to a forest or a park. If you want to catch XYZ, you actually have to go out and go to a different location to get them.
It was funny because I was watching it. It was on one of the. It's been on all the big news segments, for an NBC, ABC, and everything. And one of the reporters I thought was very clever. She was out there, talking about the Pokemon, and while she's standing there and you could see a little Pokemon in the background jumping up and down while she's doing the reporting. I don't know if they actually used it, they probably used an overlay to make it do, but it certainly conveyed exactly what you would see if you would look at. And it was and I thought it was kind of cute, so.
And I think it's for all ages because it is so cute and because it does get you to go outside and do things. I just think they did a great job on the game itself. And making it attractive.
Yeah, I have heard of a lot of people who are actually taking, if they don't take their dog out for a walk, then it's either mid to late 20s parents who take their kids out for a day and they both catch Pokemon together, or it's 20-something-year-olds taking their nieces and nephews out to catch Pokemon together. It really is ages 5 to 50 or 5 to 500, 5 to 50, whatever age you can go up to.
I don't think 500 is feasible, but that's okay. We understand what you're trying to say.
Right. It's definitely accessible to a lot of ages, and maybe over time it's just going to be people who are going to kind of do it in their spare time as they walk to the bus and do that kind of thing. There's definitely an initial wave of interest that definitely can't sustain itself. I mean, it just came out. Everyone's excited. I'm happy for them, but no way it's going to stay at this level forever. But Sandy, have you ever played Ingress, the game that this was kind of based on?
Quite a while ago, and you can see the likeness to that game
Right.
when you play this. I mean, you know it's based on that. And as I said, they've just done a really great job. We should say, though, there are some drawbacks to it.
Yeah, well, I was going to get you to that next.
Okay. Well, one drawback is, first of all, you know, you're seeing all these people already talking on their cell phone and not paying attention to what's going on around them. And this just makes that even worse, that they're really going to be immersed in this game and be walking around, and also to going to places that maybe they shouldn't be at.
If people falling, there's YouTube videos of a woman falling into a fountain in a mall. You know, I mean, this is before the Pokemon. This is just she was texting and not paying attention.
Distracted walking is a problem.
Yeah, distracted walking, and this is just going to. Although the only partial good thing is that when you're texting or distracted, you don't see anything around. At least with this, you know, your camera at least gives you a view of what's in front of you.
Well, the camera and the augmented reality part only happen when you find a Pokemon. So 95% of the time, you don't actually see, you don't actually look through your camera. It's more of a GPS, Google Street View kind of look.
Okay. Right. So you're looking at your phone just as you would for texting a lot of the times, and when the Pokemon appears, basically you get so excited that you don't necessarily think about where you are or what you're doing. And there have already been instances where the character has appeared over the train tracks or the L tracks where you don't want to go. So I understand that in New York or someplace they're already putting up signs saying watch where you're going.
Well, doesn't it say that when you first launch the program, it says, be aware of your surroundings?
It does, absolutely.
It does, and one thing I will say that they've done very well is there's pages and pages of instructions that come with this. With a lot of games, just you pick it up and you've got to figure out how to use it. And for Ben's age group, that might be very easy to do because they're used to it. But for people who are over 50, it's maybe not so intuitive. So it's nice to have a game actually give instructions, tell you what they're doing and what you're doing while you're playing the game. How many people are going to read that? I don't know, but at least it's there if somebody wants to read it.
Okay.
Absolutely. And let's see, there was a story yesterday that a Holocaust museum, of all places, said that they were hoping that people would stop coming by and trying to catch Pokemon because I guess someone had, using Ingress, I'm sure, had marked the Holocaust Museum as a point of interest, and usually when that happens, people go there and they take a picture of it and they, kind of walk around. But with Pokemon Go, and because it's so much more popular, they were getting kids and people all over that would, kind of visit and try to catch Pokemon all over the Holocaust Museum. And I guess the curators thought that was a little inappropriate, which I can understand.
Carrying that same mentality, I think it was like Arlington National Cemetery. A lot of the cemeteries were also experiencing and expressing the same concerns, saying, this is really not. It was didn't follow the proper. People weren't following the proper decorum. That it was I
can understand where they're shouting to each other, not really, doing the respect and that kind of thing. When we say video game, it is a video game, and if you're walking around a cemetery, a museum, or what have you, it can be pretty easy to forget where you are and how to act.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ben. I think you're absolutely right that you can get so absorbed in the game that you don't watch where you're going and what you're doing, and that's part of the problem. Part of the other problem is that although the game that it's based on has been around for a long time and has all these GPS points already documented, shall we say, there are still, because this has become so wildly popular, there's going to be more things that they have to do, like the museum you talked about. Maybe that's no longer a point of interest.
Right.
And the people who made up the game are going to have their work cut out for them, getting it right the first time and also keeping it right, because there's construction sites and things like that that people can walk into that weren't there yesterday and won't be there tomorrow, but are there today.
Well, there are many memorial sites. So, like the 9/11 at memorial site in New York, people were going there again. They said that it was not appropriate to go there. But isn't this a problem that can be solved with technology, Sandy? I mean, basically, as the game matures, they can sort of geofence certain areas and say, sorry, you can't make this a point of interest. You can't plant this in this if you're anywhere in this area because it's not considered appropriate.
Right. No, you're right. But the groups, the places where they meet, what are they called, Ben? Group something?
No, no. Pokestops and gyms is
okay,
where
yes.
people meet.
Pokestops and gyms. Those places they pretty much have complete control over. And right now they might be libraries or other places where people meet. And some of those might not be appropriate. So can technology take care of that? Yes, the people at Nintendo definitely are. I can guarantee you they're sitting there working on that right now.
Yeah, exactly. What's the difference between a gem and a Pokestop? Oh, hey, we're up against the break. Let's continue on with this. You see how it just eats into the time.
This line of conversation is right in my wheelhouse. I'm having fun.
Yeah, it is. I am too, and I'm certainly I'm appreciating Sandy's perspective on this as well. We're going to break here, and then we'll continue on. Sandy Berger is a guest for both hours, our consumer electronics experts. 347-884-8881. We got a news test polls review from Marty Winston coming up as well. We will be right back.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Hot? The lobsters leave the water already cooked. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Triplite rack mount 16-port USB charger. Now, just because it's an equipment rack doesn't mean that you won't need lots of USB charging ports there, a fact that obviously didn't escape Triplite. They put 16 ports, all capable of cracking up to 2.4 amps, in a 1U high rack or desktop package. They can also, if you want, double as a USB 2 hub or sync station. One standard grounded AC connection powers it. You can even choose how to position its rack ears so it can have its face flush front or set back a little more than an inch, a little more than 2 inches. We love it as a convenience for powering 16 of our Project House's Raspberry Pi controllers. Bottom line, the Triplite 16-port USB charger fills a big lack in many a rack. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
There we go. And welcome back to the Computer America Show. Sorry about that. We are here with Sandy Berger as we are doing 2 hours of reviews and different apps and different things to talk about. And and don't worry, folks, we should be finishing up Pokemon Go here in a minute. But right before the break, we were talking about the different objects you can find within the game. Not the Pokemon, but the different stops. And I will say that this is one of my big frustrations about the game, is that the game lends itself to be better in urban areas than they are in rural areas, because obviously.
At least for now. I mean, at least for now, I'm sure they'll be able to add more.
Well, I mean, there's just not a lot of things to look at. I mean, great, you're out in the forest, but there's just not a lot of landmarks that you can really tag to say, this is a place where people should go, and like in a city, you can make that a restaurant, you can make that a landmark, a piece of art, a park, a fountain. Like, you can make that a lot of things, but when you're out in nature, not a lot of things you can kind of point to and say, go here. So, anyways, you get these things called Pokestops and gyms. Pokestops, I think they're either on like a 30-minute timer or once-a-day timer, but you go there, you take a picture of whatever's there. It could, the one that I know of is my friend has a restaurant, and he had a big pig, like a big ceramic pig or something like that, and someone had tagged that as a landmark for some reason. So little things like that. It could be a piece of art, it could be a park, a fountain, it could be whatever it is. You go there, you take a picture of it, or you spin it, and you get items that you can use. You get like more Pokeballs, you get eggs, you get tons of different things that you can use. And of course, you can visit as many of those every day as you want. You'll get tons of items. Of course, if you don't want to take all the time to go visit all of those Pokestops, you can, of course, this is where the microtransactions come in, where you pay, $100, $20, $5, $3 to get those items, directly, so you don't have to move, so you can be lazy. And then the other side is the gym. After you hit level 5, you choose a team, red, blue, or yellow, and the gym is kind of like capture the flag, where depending on what team you are, if you own the gym, if your team owns the gym, then you can train, level up your Pokemon, make them stronger. And if you don't own the gym, then you can kind of battle your Pokemon and potentially capture the gym for your team. So as the game continues, it's gonna be more and more fractured along these team lines that you kind of segregate yourself in. So if you and all of your friends are blue, then you guys can go out and coordinate capturing all these gyms for the blue team. And I think that's part of what's going to make Pokemon Go kind of interesting going forward, is what team you're part of, and what team can own the most gyms. Like, it's kind of ever evolving. So yeah, so that's the difference between Pokestops and gyms. Pokestops are things places of interest you can go visit, and gyms are, of course, places that you kind of capture with your team. So.
Well, that was excellent. Ben, that was excellent. I thought you did a great job of explaining it. I should just want to add that I do agree with you that it's better in urban areas than rural areas, at least right now.
Right.
And I think it will be for quite a while. But the other thing that I want to mention is that I have now already read about Pokestops that have where people with nefarious ideas might go there and wait for people to accumulate to rob them or whatever.
That's happened.
Yes, it's already happened, and so it's something to be aware of. There are some dangers in this game, and another danger. Well, go ahead.
Their suggestion is Nintendo is to go in pairs.
Is to get stronger Pokemon to fight off the bad guys. No.
I don't think so.
The instance that we're talking about was a Pokestop, a point of interest, but the people who were unfortunately robbed, they went out looking for Pokemon, I think like the second or third day, at 3 a.m. And the people with nefarious intentions, they drop something called a lure, which gets Pokemon, to come into the area, and you can only drop those in certain areas. So they get Pokemon to come into an area so they could attract people, and when they see people come up with their cars or people walk up, at 3 a.m., they held them up at gunpoint. And of course, this was like an isolated incident, but I think another good kind of safety feature is don't go because like Pokestops and gyms, they are places like churches, they're places like restaurants, they're places like parks. Like in the daytime, these are completely normal places. Like you can't choose. Oh well, the dumpster behind this alley in this dark alley is now a Pokestop. You should really go to that dumpster in the dark alley. Like no, they're usually pretty safe places. Just don't go out there at 3 a.m. That's something you can do to protect yourself.
That's a very good point. It really is. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that there has been a lot of publicity. I mean, this game, you could realize, has only been out for I think a week at the most, and there has been a lot of publicity of people saying that it's using. If you sign in with Google, it gives the Google and the company that made the product, the game, complete access to whatever you have on Google, which is a lot if you have your calendar and everything else on there. Now, Nintendo has already stated that they're working on that they don't use all that information, but I think they're going to stop collecting all that information. Right now, though, you might want to be careful.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. One thing that I like to point out to people is, of course, that Niantic, who runs Ingress, which the game is based on, Niantic used to be owned by Google. And Niantic was spun off of Google, but Google is still the primary investor in Niantic. So to me, it made complete sense that that they would ask for your Google login because they're still very much a Google type associated company.
Right.
And like to me, it's all the information that it strikes me as kind of funny because they're they're saying Pokemon Go is stealing all your information, and then they're posting these updates to Facebook. Like Facebook does all this, Google does this, Gmail does this, Microsoft, they gave you a free operating system, and they're going to collect data on you. I mean, all this data, you're concerned with your privacy, but I'm sure they're posting it on Windows 10 machines to Facebook through through their Gmail that's registered to their Gmail account. Like if you want to be safe, you want to be safe, and I guess you don't want to give it out to any old company, but they've already given up most of that information anyways.
That is true. We have given up already a lot of information. What about this idea, Ben? What if you were to use an alternative Gmail login? Something that's not connected to anything else. You just make yourself a new Gmail and use that to log in.
I mean, if you really want to go with privacy's sake, maybe finding another Gmail isn't the easiest thing to do. The easiest thing to do would be, of course, just to make an account with Niantic or their Pokemon Go site, and you can sign in with that. So, like, you can give them all the false information you want and still play the game. You just have to go to Niantic or PokemonGo.com and make an account that way.
And to tell you the truth, I tried to do that, and they were so overwhelmed. They kept saying, "Come back in an hour, and we'll see if we can clear that up. Come back in an hour and see if we can clear that up." So that right now might not be a good way to go if you can't get in. One thing I will say about their website, though, if anybody wants to see what we're talking about, see what all this is about, they do have some very good videos on PokemonGo.com. Yeah, they have some great videos there where you can see it without actually having to download it and use it.
Yeah, we actually have a link to that on the cheat note, and you can go to PokemonGo.com/ENUS for English for US. That's there. And if you're watching the live video stream, Ben is actually showing the website right now.
Yeah, and like this whole Pokemon Go Plus, it's this little $35 device that it's essentially a pedometer, but
they're making more money.
Right.
Wow.
It's essentially a pedometer that you pay $35 for, more money, and it's going to immediately flag you as as a lunatic that paid money for this. But yeah, it's essentially a pedometer that you strap to your belt. It's strapped to wherever. It'll register how far you walked, and it will actually automatically give you items and catch Pokemon for you. You don't even have to open up your phone or waste your phone's battery, because this thing is a battery hog. You just have to wear it as you walk around, and you'll get stuff. So.
Yeah. So you wear is the idea. I have not invested $35 in one of these, and I don't even know if it's available yet. But the idea, Ben, I think, is that you wear it, and it beeps at you or vibrates to you when there's a Pokemon nearby. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Right, yeah, and it beeps at you, and it will also tell you when Pokemon are nearby, and again, it will actually catch these automatically for you just for having this $35 device. So it's so if you're exercising and you're huge into Pokemon, and and you're going for hikes or you're going for jogs or you're going for bike rides, anyways, this is an alternative to biking, holding the handlebars with one hand and your cell phone in the other as you try to catch
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Okay. All right.
Now, you mentioned it's a battery hog. What kind of how much does it reduce the life of your battery with this? I mean, how long can you play Pokemon Go before?
I mean, I'll just say personally that's because it like the way it registers where Pokemon are is that it'll tell you when one is near, but to be able to tell where you actually are, it needs to continuously have and send a GPS signal to their servers. So you are continuously sending that stream of data saying exactly where you are, and the server saying exactly where the Pokemon is, and it kind of links up continuously until you catch it, and and like as long as you have the app open and active, it's just going to keep that open connection. And it for me, I've went from 100% battery down to like 30% in the matter of like an hour and a half. Like it's a hog.
Well,
I've had exactly the same experience, Ben. And my Apple, I have an iPhone that is starting to get a little bit old. It's almost 2 years old, and so its battery is not as good as it was when it was new. And so I have the same thing. If I run this for 2 hours, my phone is going to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
well, let me ask you this: how is this any different than running like Apple Maps? For navigation. Is Pokemon Go somehow more stressful, demanding, or?
Yes, it's more demanding because it's constantly going out looking. It's constantly going back and forth to the surroundings and where this Pokemon would be, etc. Right. So it's just a constant thing. Where if you're on a mapping thing, it goes up and gets the map from the satellite and brings it down and accesses it occasionally, but not a constant thing.
Even with navigation, if you turn, let's say with Apple Maps,
Right.
one of the things I do now is to use Apple Maps for navigation when I'm driving. It's still not as demanding.
That's right.
Okay, that's good to know. By the way, I know I had mentioned this to you I think last time, but I am now using my iPhone now. I've gotten rid of my dedicated navigator, the TomTom Go, and I'm now using the iPhone as a navigation device in the car. Sandy, so
and you find it just as good?
Better, actually.
Okay, me too.
One of the things that I do is I hooked up Ben's at a little Bluetooth speaker. So I hooked up the Bluetooth speaker, again powered for the cigarette lighter, so I don't have to keep recharging it, and it does a Bluetooth link up, and so when I'm using it, and it speaks very clearly, very loudly, much more so than the built-in speaker, and the navigation is far more smooth. It's more seamless.
And you don't get that annoying thing. It's like, hey, you are a lazy person, and you haven't updated your maps in about 4 years.
Exactly. Maps are updated automatically. The only thing that I can't figure out with Apple Maps is one of the things that I like with the TomTom is that it always displays whatever direction you're driving, Sandy. It rotates the map to go where to show that, so everything is always headed in an upward direction. And the Apple Maps has a little triangle thing there. Supposedly it's supposed to do that, but I've noticed that it's never perfectly up and down. It's always like a little bit off to the left or to the right. It's sometimes we'll actually go the reverse direction, and I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or something right there, but I can't get it to emulate that one feature.
Okay, I'm not real absolutely positive about that, because in my car I do have a GPS that shows the map on the screen, so I use that. I also have a built-in GPS system into my car, and I find that the iPhone maps are much better.
Yeah.
So basically, when I get in the car, my phone connects through Bluetooth to the speakers in the car, and instead of using the car GPS, I use the iPhone GPS.
Now, how do you I purchased this a little $8 thing for the windshield, so I could actually mount it to the windshield.
Yes.
And it sticks. it actually doesn't hold it. It's got a little sticky surface, which is great, and it kind of holds it to wherever I want to. And you know, that's what I'm using. I'm not sure.
Well, see, I don't need that because I'm seeing the GPS map on my screen and from the car.
Ah, okay.
And I'm listening to
Okay.
Apple's directions.
Exactly.
Which works absolutely perfectly.
Yeah. But I got rid of all the navigation, and I'm just using the iPhone now, and it's terrific. The only thing that it won't do is that it doesn't let me know where traffic cameras are. But I'm sure that
Yeah.
Just on speed.
Yeah.
So I feel like we deviated a little bit. Let's finish this up because we spent an hour talking about this yesterday with Josh. Now we're almost at an hour here with Sandy. But don't get me wrong, I love Pokemon Go. So like we said, just to wrap this up real quick, was that iOS, Android, of course, and free with in-app purchases. And Sandy, would you say this was worth your time to download?
It's definitely worth it to at least look at and see what people are doing. The thing that'll be interesting to me is how many people I see on the street that are obviously using this while they're walking or they're going places. With so many millions of people who have already downloaded it, it's going to be a lot of people. It'll be very interesting.
And also, I think it'll be interesting where it is like next month. How many people are going to stick with it? In other words, I realize it's the initial wow kind of thing, but how many people are actually going to continue using it?
My prediction is that it's going to continue to be very popular.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Pokemon in the real world, and there's a reason they started with the initial 150 Pokemon. Like that came out in like 1993 or 1996, whenever the television and the first game series came out. They started with those. I mean, they have Pokemon that they just released. Like they have some coming out this year, and they have some coming out like 2 years ago. They could have done those if they were aiming for kids, but they started with the initial 151 because they definitely want to bank on that nostalgia.
Right.
Okay, so there's a lot of room for growth.
Oh yeah, there's currently like 800 Pokemon in the current iteration of the game. So 800 Pokemon, they've only released I think like 130 right now. So lots of room to grow.
All right. Well, we'll continue to follow that along as well, and as the game continues to grow, and we'll continue to have some coverage for that. And as I said, I'm gonna check it out in the next day or two as well, and give you my report.
It takes you like 5 minutes, Craig.
I'll do it.
Just do it, and you get to see at least. And I give everybody else that idea too, that they can just do it. Either go on the website and do the video at least, or check it out so you can have an understanding of what these people who are absorbed in their cell phone are doing on the street.
Yep, that's it. And just be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk in, go straight and have a car hit you or something.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking to maintain a death toll for this game. So many people
which
die.
Is currently 0. Thank you.
Pokemon Go. Okay. Let's continue on to this next device, and this looks pretty amazing. You found it's called the Cassia, CASSIA, Hub Bluetooth Router. Now, this is kind of different. Tell us about this thing.
Well, it's amazingly different. I mean, I guess I heard briefly about it at CES this year, and now they've actually come out with the hub and the speakers and everything to go with it. And the question that I had then, and that I had when they sent it to me, was why do I need a Bluetooth router? But if you think of it with Internet of Things and home automation things, Wi-Fi is great, but it can get overwhelmed, and a lot of things are Bluetooth. Now, what's wrong with Bluetooth? Bluetooth has a limit on the distance. It's usually about 35 feet that the Bluetooth will go, and even more importantly, it has a one-to-one. So you hook up your cell phone to Alexa or whatever you're going to be using, and it's just that one cell phone and the one device. The Cassia Hub allows you to connect to 22 different devices at the same time.
Wow.
So you can keep things connected. You can, if you're just playing music, you can have 3 speakers connected to the hub at the same time, and connect your cell phone or whatever you're playing the music from, and then those three speakers will act together. And I was amazed. They sent me 2 speakers, but then I took their 2 speakers and I added another speaker, and I could actually place them around different rooms in my house and play music. Well, what does that remind you of? Sonos, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and Sonos is extremely expensive. They've gotten a little bit cheaper, but they're still expensive. So this hub idea is a great idea. The hub itself is
Looks a little like
$99.
a paler version of Alexa. Exactly.
Yeah, in a way, yes. In a way, yes.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Now, I had a talk yesterday with Van Kruger, who is the president of the company, and he was telling me about all the different things that they're going to be able to do with this hub, which is totally amazing. The first thing we all think of, or at least I thought of, is music. Okay, it can do music. And when we talk about music, I should say that they use AirPlay on the iOS so if you want to do Pandora or Slack or something else, some music that you want to play, you can use AirPlay to do that. And they are moving that into the Android area as well. They'll be able to play all these things. But he talked about things like health. A lot of people have health-related problems, and also along with the speakers that you can purchase to go with this, they also have for seniors a little dongle that you can wear. That's Bluetooth connected again, but it will also connect you to SMS for if you fall or you press the button, you can contact your friends. He was talking about senior citizen homes who want to go ahead and talk about their or track all the people in their senior center.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't necessarily do that with Bluetooth right now. Bluetooth, as you know, takes up a lot less space and is a lot faster than Wi-Fi. So basically, right now you can have 22 different people that they could track at the same time. And in a certain mode, that can be expanded to like 100 people, and they will be expanding that to even more probably. Van also talked about a sports idea that I had never really heard of, is that say you've got a soccer game and you want to know exactly who's on the field at a certain time, if they had these little Bluetooth, not speakers, sensors on them,
Yeah.
they could track that very, very easily instead of having to figure out who's actually on there at the same time. So it's got some applications that are going to be coming that are pretty phenomenal.
Well, I think it's one of as you said, typically Bluetooth only has a range of about 30 feet, but with the Cassia hub, the same devices have open air communication up to 1,000 feet. Now, how do they do that? They're sort of repeating it as a.
Well, I think they've optimized it, and it comes out of the hub, so they've got like certain antennas and things in there that can do that. They've actually tested it. He told me they tested it through 3 walls, and those were concrete walls that they did in China. So they say it'll go through 3 walls here, but I believe it will probably go through even farther than that. And that's how everything is optimized. That's how they extend the span that much more.
Well, not only that, but Bluetooth has often been seen as a low energy kind of product. So when you have something that plugs directly into a wall, you can kind of amp up that energy a little bit and boost the signal just by putting more power into it.
That's right. And they also have Cassia, also besides the hub itself. They also have speakers, which I've talked about, and they have a light bulb and a plug. So it's kind of like competition for Philips Hue, which I thought was amazing. The light bulb is actually a color light bulb. So you can change the hue, you can change the settings of this light bulb, and it's all done through an app on your cell phone. And Philips Hue bulbs right now cost somewhere around $50 for the colored ones.
Right.
The Cassia light bulb is selling for $29.99. That's a huge, huge break, and everything worked seamlessly. I set it up. I didn't think that the instructions were that spectacular. I thought the instructions could have been a little bit better, but once I figured a few things out, I got it all set up and working. I plugged things into the plug and was able to switch them on and off without a problem. Was able to control the color and everything in that light bulb without a problem, and all the speakers that I attached to it without a problem. So they've got something here.
Yeah, was everything done within an app, or was everything done with, like I have quite a number of Bluetooth devices, and they're all on that, the settings and the Bluetooth connected devices.
Right.
Was it done in app, or was it done all through kind of like the Bluetooth interface?
It's all done on an app. The Bluetooth interface, you're connecting to the hub.
Okay.
And that's something that they didn't make very clear in their directions. So the first time through, I tried to set up the speakers and I connected it through the Bluetooth settings as you're talking about, and it didn't work. But if what you do is you connect the router, and the router can be Wi-Fi or it can be Ethernet, either way.
That is really cool. Listen, we got to pause again for a short break, but just the top of the hour break, and then we'll continue on. Ben and I are talking to Sandy Berger. We're talking about the Cassia Hub Bluetooth router. We'll continue on with that in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And we continue on with Sandy Berger. She's joining us, and right now, well, if you missed the first hour, we talked mostly about the Pokemon Go and that phenomenon, and if you missed any portion of that, head over to ComputerAmerica.com. Just click the Archives link on the menu bar there, and you can see all the different places that archive the program, and as well as the places that carry the show as well. I mean, Apple's iTunes, the Blog Talk Radio Network, the TuneIn Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network are all available or accessible at ComputerAmerica.com. So we're finishing up, or we're talking about the Cassia Hub Bluetooth router, and again, an amazing little device that really capitalizes on Bluetooth to extend range and support many more devices, a lot more than the original Bluetooth specification would allow for. This basically enhances many of the limitations you find with Bluetooth to give you some really cool control features and characteristics with this product.
Right, and one thing I want to say, this looks like the Google On Hub, and if you're looking at the show notes, I did make a mistake because I put Google On Hub as a manufacturer and then Cassia Networks. It is not manufactured by Google On Hub, but it looks like Google On Hub. So those of you who are watching the video, I'll hold up. This is actually a speaker, but the hub itself looks just like this, except it's a little wider around. So it's a circular thing, about 8 inches high. Looks very much like the Google On Hub, which also looks very much like the Amazon Echo. So it's amazing they're coming out with all these things that look the same, but it is a cool look. There's not a lot of wires or anything coming out, and, it's nice and clean.
This can only mean one thing, that there is one industrial designer out there who got a lot of paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that glowing?
Exactly.
Was it glowing blue?
Yeah, it looked blue.
It looked blue.
It looks blue, but it doesn't glow. It's the outside of it is a little bit transparent.
Okay.
Okay, so you can almost see through it, but you can't really. So
Okay.
it looks a little transparent. It's actually got a very good look to it.
Okay. So, so instead of a wireless router, we're talking about a Bluetooth router. And
Right.
if you understand the concept of a router and what it does, then you certainly will understand. But because up to now, there's really not been, it's all been Wi-Fi and not Bluetooth. And now,
Right. And Bluetooth is a lower cost and, as Ben pointed out, lower power usage, which makes a big difference when you're talking now about putting more and more devices in your home. I mean, when I put on my OnHub, which we talked about last month, which is a wireless router by Google, it immediately found 15 wireless gadgets that I have in my house, and not everything was on at the time.
yeah.
So I have 15, probably 20 wireless devices, and Bluetooth probably have as many. So, you know, it's what it is something very useful as our homes get more connected to the internet. You're going to have more Bluetooth and more Wi-Fi stuff. And if we can maybe split it up into Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, I think that's probably a very good thing, because certain things are more geared toward or better off using Bluetooth.
All right. Well, so it sells for $99.
And if you go to the CassiaNetworks.com area, you'll see that they also sell it. Oh, and Amazon is selling it too. So you can just buy the hub. You can buy the hub in one speaker. You can buy the hub in two speakers. You can buy the safety gadget that you wear around your neck. You can buy the light bulbs, and you can buy kits. So you can buy a kit that has, say, the hub, a light bulb, and a plug, and a speaker.
The one that the little device you wear around the neck, by the way, it doesn't look utilitarian. It actually looks like a piece of jewelry. It looks actually styled very nicely.
It's pretty good looking. And I asked them to actually send me more information on that, because they call it Cassia Personal Safety Sensor.
Yeah.
But that, I think, would be something extremely useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a piece of jewelry. It's like something you wear every day. It's not like some of these. I'm sorry, but they look ugly. You know, they look like, oh.
Are you kidding me? Looking ugly is an understatement. They look like remote control garage door openers. They're hanging around your neck.
Right, and you can imagine why a lot of older people who actually need something like this don't want to wear it.
Right, but this is like a piece of fashion jewelry, as far as.
Yeah, it is. It's a white circular thing that you would wear around your neck, almost like a over large bead of some sort.
Yeah,
flat bead.
A little chain, and it looks very stylish, you know. And so basically, is it the same thing? You just reach up and push the button or squeeze the button. How does it work?
Well, I don't. They did not send me one of those, and they're going to send me more information. But from what I understand, it has sensors in it, so it will be able to tell if you actually fall.
Wow.
So you won't have to press it, but you can also press it, and when you do press it, it can send an SMS to whatever contact or contacts that you want, and I believe possibly you might be able to speak through it as well. But I'll find out more information on that, and we can talk about that a little bit later.
Okay. And again, you go to the website, and we have the listing there, the CassiaNetworks.com, and you can see the different images that show this cool little device.
Right. Yeah. I think that this whole Bluetooth hub idea is a good idea, and I think it could be used not just in the home, but for a lot of other uses that they're going to find for it in the near future. They sound like they're very committed to expanding this. They've got their SDK out there, and they've got a lot of contacts that they're making with other companies. So I think that you're going to actually see more and more of this. There were very few drawbacks from my end. One thing is it only works on if you're doing it Wi-Fi rather than Ethernet, it only works on the 2.4 gigahertz network. But most routers today are dual routers, so it'll switch over automatically as mine did when I set that up. Right now you can only put 3 speakers on at one time, but I believe that in the future they will be able to expand that as well.
By the way, I'm looking at it's called the Cassia Personal Safety Sensor. It sells for $99.99, so it's $100. And it does have the push button alert, but it also has something called fall detection sensing, which is what
Which is what she said before, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Another really interesting thing, it has a rechargeable battery, but guess the battery life of this device is 8,760 hours before you have to charge it again. So,
Okay, Ben, quick. How long is that? I'm just kidding.
I wasn't even paying attention. What?
8,000 hours. No, that's not
8,760
sufficiently long.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be what, a couple of months, I would think.
Yeah.
Before having to charge the battery again. No installation expenses, no monthly fees.
Right.
It looks really, really good, and obviously it has a great range, 1,000 feet. You can be up to a 3-wall penetration coverage, and again, it's $100.
Yeah, I thought all of their products were well thought out. Like even the light bulb, I thought that it was excellent, and you control all that from the app. But it's easy to control, and it's got a lot of features. So.
All right. Well, in a world.
Real quick, I just want to say that I'm all for because like 2 years ago and a year ago out at CES and a lot of other places, everyone wanted to make their own standard, but I'm all for Bluetooth and like the more standards you can get to work with existing standards such as Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, instead of like the Apple one or Zigbee or Z-Wave or whatever it was. The more things you can get to work with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, I'm all for. And the fact that this boosts it, throughout an entire house is very, very cool.
Yeah, and Bluetooth 5 is coming out. All these devices work off of Bluetooth 4 right now, but they've already got the specifications and everything from Bluetooth 5. And so it's just going to keep getting better and better, where some of the others that you mentioned, like Zigbee, are kind of dying slow deaths, even though people are still supporting them.
Right.
They're not of prime importance right now, as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are of prime importance.
All right. Okay.
So I think this company has a good future, and they seem to be doing things right. If they continue that and expand it to work with other devices, it might be very, very good in the future.
All right. Well, there you go. Again, $99, and with a variety of accessories. Again, you can go over to the website CassiaNetworks.com and check them out for yourself.
Craig, one thing I have to add, because I don't think we mentioned it, but it works with all Bluetooth devices.
Oh.
So even though you can purchase their speakers, if you have your own speakers, you can put those on without a problem.
Very nice.
Okay.
Very nice. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to the next item. And again, we live in a world where, boy, there are so many home security devices these days. We just had one on last week. Ben, right? Was it? It was the trying to remember the Canary. It was Canary Wireless.
Right.
Yeah, Canary.
They've been around for a while.
Yeah, we had head of communications John Carter on talking about the Canary. The idea there, it's a one device. You set it up and it does everything built into the one device without putting remotes.
Yeah, folks, you should really go back and take a listen to that one. Craig really grilled the guy on what it can actually do. So if you want to know what the Canary camera can do, go back and listen to Craig. Really, what if the guy to death?
Okay, I'll have to listen to that.
Sometimes, hey, listen, you got to ask the right questions. Sometimes people.
Right questions. What if this totally esoteric thing, and then
what if a
Pokemon
came into my home, and would it go off if a Pokemon came into my home?
Actually, funny story. Actually, if we're talking about current events in Pokemon, I mean, this just happened here, where this was the president of Israel just posted this picture to his Twitter. So.
And it's a picture of a Pokemon with the flags, the royal look and everything. That's
right.
Cute.
In the presidential office of Benjamin Netanyahu. So Craig,
yeah, very cute.
How did he get past that all the security there?
That was his caption. Was that someone called security?
That's absolutely wonderful.
I bet you we have a couple in the White House too. Would be my guess.
I bet.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, in a world where we live with all these different security cameras and alarm systems and everyone from the extremely expensive to the ones that are are very cheap and don't perform very well and are probably worth what you paid for
Or
them.
just the sign in the front yard.
Yeah, the sign in the front yard is saying, we have yet another remote home security camera that you've come up with, and this one's called the KID, K-I-D-E, or is it Kitty? I'm not sure. Kidda, remote Lind home security camera.
Actually, let me stop you if you're looking at the show notes, because I think I was half asleep when I did them. It is Remote Link, L-Y-N-C, home security camera.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the Amazon Echo, which my text says after that. So I've kind of messed that up, folks.
Okay. All right.
Oh dear.
But I did go to the website, and it is a home safety camera, the Remote Link, and LYNC. So tell us about this. Why is this different, and why is this something we may want to?
Well, it's very small. It's very well done. I'm going to show it here for those of you who are watching. There it is. And it's got a little device there. You can close it. You can open it. And it's got a magnetic base.
Like an eyelid. Yeah.
Right. So it's got a magnetic base, and that base can be placed someplace, or it's got sticky stuff on, so you can put it on a wall, and then you focus the way you want to because it's all magnetic.
Very cool.
So the design is very, very well done. Kidda also has smoke detectors that are run through their app. So if you have a smoke detector that is run through their app, you can run this device through the app as well, which is a nice feature. The things I didn't like about it is that it actually, I guess I want to say that I don't like the way it handles in that the expanse that it covers. Okay. Also, it's a motion sensor, and that part of it was great. It's very very alert, so any motion at all will start the camera. The camera, actually, you can start it before you leave the house with a simple wave of your hand in front of it, which is a very nice feature. The pictures that it takes are great, and what it does is it emails you when there's motion in the house. But at the same time, it emails you the picture of what the motion was caused by the motion. So if a mouse runs by in front of your camera, it's gonna see that because it's very sensitive, and it's going to send you something saying that. But it'll also show you the picture of it, so you know it's not a burglar; it's a mouse that ran by, and then you'll know you have mice in the house and be very upset. But it's got some nice features. One thing is that it does take very nice pictures. I guess the thing I was trying to say about that I didn't like about it is that it's not wide enough to cover an entire house, or I have a very open floor plan in my house, so I would like to have it cover 2 or 3 rooms at a time, and it can't do that. But I think most home security cameras can't do that anyway.
Right. Yeah, that was one thing that Canary was very open about, was that their field of view was like 100 and he had some weird specific number. It was like 117 degrees or 123 degrees, something like that. So
that would be fairly wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why. I don't know what the number of this one is, but I think it would be a little narrower than that.
Yeah, 90 is pretty good. I mean, 90 isn't anything spectacular, but yeah, okay.
The one nice thing about this is it's really good looking, especially if you just put the hood down. It's got a little cover on it, and it's got a silver bottom because it's magnetic. But it's extremely good looking, and it's very small. It's only about 2.5 inches around.
And I may be a little biased for Kitty, but I've always used Kitty smoke detectors and things like that for as long as I've been around. So, I mean, very reputable company.
Yes, and I do like the smoke detectors that they have now come with a little device, and I think we've talked about it before, possibly on this show. And that device also hooks up to the internet,
Right.
so it'll give you notices of smoke or CO2 or whatever.
Or
And
low
at the same-
battery.
yeah, and at the same time you've got the camera, so it's
Well, it
it's a
strikes
good thing from them.
it strikes me that it's a very attractive looking. So if ever your home is broken into, you can be assured that the burglar will take it with them because it's so.
They'll just pop it right off the magnetic base and take it with them.
Well, actually, the nice thing about it is that it's all white. So if you have white or beige walls and you put it on a wall or on a table, it kind of doesn't stick out. I don't know that a burglar would grab it. Maybe he would, but that's one thing I really liked about it. It just kind of fits in with your decor. It's not sticking out like a sore thumb.
Okay, well, good. As long as your decor isn't 18th century, furniture. So sorry, more modern.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
More modern. Okay, fair enough. $154 for this. How did that compares with other devices? What's your feelings on that?
I have not looked at a lot of home security cameras, but it seems to be right in that same area.
Have you looked at the Canary, by the way?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I should do that.
You should take a look at it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look. The one that I have that I actually like quite a bit because I have seen, even was it Netgear used to have its line of little tiny cameras that would round, but I think it was the VUE. They actually, I just got to notice that they're discontinuing that service. Even with a company like Netgear, I guess it just wasn't profitable for them. They turned it over to some other company. But a lot of these cameras, they make them from Lynx that have their D-Link line of cameras. There are a number of them, and I've never really liked them. They're clunky. They're difficult to install. You have to hook them up with Ethernet first to this, and then they use Java. And there's a lot of things that I just don't like about it. And the one that I really do like, I think it sort of represents the next generation, is, believe it or not, Nest has their camera. Their Nest camera took me a matter of moments to install, and very fully integrated with all the features. It actually used a Q code, so you could just point your
a QR code. That's
QR code. Thank you. QR code. Point your camera. It set it up, and I set that up in less than 5 minutes. Didn't have to hook it to the computer. It has a two-way audio, so you can hear and you can speak through it. So you can say, "Hey, get out of my house," or something. And the birds will do that.
Well, I will say that this one's set up very, very easily. And the other nice feature that I didn't mention yet is that it's a rechargeable battery.
Okay.
So you don't have to have it plugged into the wall.
But and that's
some of the older ones you do.
That's true, but again, my theory is that if you have a camera, let's say you're going to be away from your home for a couple of months, or 2 or 3 months, it's why not? If it's just put it near a plug, or it's one less thing, one less battery you have to worry about.
Yeah, but in everyday use, if I was going to have company for the evening and I had this device sitting on the table, it would be fine as long as it's just sitting there. If it's got a ugly plug connected to it,
Okay. Well, I guess it's all personal. I like the Nest, and it worked flawlessly. There was only one situation that the people over at Nest couldn't anticipate, and that is Ben disconnected it. But
yeah, you usually have to turn those things on.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so again, $154, which is on a little bit of the upside, but Sandy gives it a thumbs up. She likes it, and you might want to check it out at KiddyKidde.com.
Also, since I made a mistake on that, on the text, check out the price as well, because it might be less than that.
Oh, okay.
I might have the wrong price as well.
Oh, okay. I'm at the Kitty website right.
Are you? Does it say?
And I'm not. Oh yes, $154.
Okay, so I got that right. Okay, just got to cover myself here.
Fair enough.
All right.
Now this next one. This looks. At first I looked at it. I thought it was a snail, but it looked like a little purple snail. But it's actually really kind of cool looking. But I was scratching my head. I figured, what does water have to do? A squirt water alarm clock? You know, does it squirt water at you to wake you up? I mean, you know,
well, actually, the one that I reviewed is called Squirt, but it's just the idea is that it's a water clock.
Okay.
No batteries, no plug, no electricity. It is run by water.
Wow.
So you get the clock, and I'll show it to the people who are actually watching. This is the one that I have.
Okay.
Oh, that's not the
Okay.
water shape that I have.
It's not the same shape that you're looking at on the website.
More round. Yeah.
Right, and if you go down farther, it's down at the bottom someplace. Here it is.
Yeah, there's
See
green.
it?
You
Yeah.
have the blue one? I mean,
I have
this
a purple one.
purple one. Yeah, this thing comes in all kinds of colors.
Yeah, all colors. It's translucent, so you can see the water through it. You can jiggle it around and see that you've got it filled with water, see how low the water is or how high the water is. And it's interesting the way that it works to actually generate its own electricity between two plates inside of it.
So how does that work? In other words,
Chemistry.
It's chemistry. I meant to actually contact the person who sent this to me so I could get a little bit better view of exactly how the chemistry is working. There is a place on their website, Ben, if you can find it quickly, where they show how it actually works.
okay.
Oh, quickly. That's
That's all right. That's all right,
Yeah.
because we can talk about other things. The thing has two very small buttons on the side around the bezel. Very, very small buttons. And that's how you set the time and you set the alarm. I had trouble with that. I found it cumbersome because there were just two buttons and I wanted to set the minutes or whatever. I also had trouble with the alarms, setting the alarms on it. However, if you just want to use this thing for a desk clock, it's amazingly accurate. I've had mine running for about a week, and it doesn't seem to have lost a second. And this is all done by water. Totally amazing.
Wow.
Real quick, the water, does it have to be hinted with lemon?
No. Even if you have a yellow clock, you don't have to put lemon in it.
All right. Well, I found something here online that was talking about exactly that thing, and they're saying that they use a simple galvanic cell battery, and it's when you have something like copper or zinc, you know, the two plates you were just talking about, in a water solution or an electrolyte solution, which is why I mentioned lemon, because add lemon to that and it would help it out. But it sounds like they got it to work with just plain water. And yeah, so you have a plate of copper, a plate of zinc, and it creates an electrical current between the two, and that powers the clock.
Yeah, the water creates the electrical current to go back from one plate to another.
How often do you have to change the water on this clock?
Well, I assume when the water runs down, you would put new water in, and that's the beauty of it, that it's translucent, so you can actually see how much water is in there.
Because water won't need to be replaced for 6 months or more, and so the one.
It's simple and fun to do.
Yeah.
It actually is. It's fun. It's cute. If you want to get one for the grandkids or the kids who want to learn a little bit about science, there is a place on their website that shows the plates and the electricity that it creates going back and forth, and it's quite interesting. Now, it is, we will say, it's translucent. It's plasticky, but it also doesn't cost a fortune. The one that I have is $26.
I mean, if you're going to be marooned on a tropical island and you need to keep track of the time, this would probably be the best thing because you just keep putting.
Well, I don't know if it works with salt water.
Well.
But other than that, it would be fine. You'd want the orange one for being at the beach.
And you'd want to make sure that there was a fresh water supply somewhere on that deserted island.
Deserted island, right.
Exactly.
One thing I wish, and I can assume that they couldn't do this because of the amount of electricity needed, I wish it had some backlighting on it. It's fine for a desk where you have light all the time, but you're not going to want to use it as your bedside alarm clock because you really can't see it at night.
Well, is there an alarm on it? Does it have an alarm?
Yes, it does. It has 2 alarms. I think you can set it for the same time every day, or yeah, the same time every day, and it's got some sort of a timer function on it as well.
Okay. All right. Again, the water clock sells for $26, and again, you can see that the BEDOL website, or bedol.com. And
right, and they have a lot of as Ben was scrolling down, they have a lot of different clocks, styles, and things like that that you can look at.
yeah, I can see that. Different ones.
Very, very much a less different colors and different designs.
You know what? At the top of the of where you're at right now, see that play button? I think that actually plays the video of how it works.
Oh, good stuff. And,
So
yep, right there.
there it is.
Yep.
2 plates, the water in between the plates generates the electricity. Very interesting.
But as you said, they have a whole line of products there.
To me, this for some reason this always strikes me because I guess so college age, that whenever I see stuff like this that's in multiple colors, multiple designs, this strikes me as like, are you making a dorm room for a kid that's going off to college? Throw one of these in, because you can kind of color match it with the dorm set. It's going to be easy, simple, that kind of thing. So like maybe if a kid's going away to college and just needs like a desk clock, could be this.
I thought the very same thing, Ben. Ooh, like minds think alike. Because that was the first thing I thought of. Gee, that would be a great graduation present from somebody graduating from going into college. So.
All right. When we come back, we're going to be talking about something called the M Cookie 101, and we'll be talking about that as well. And also that the deadline for free Windows 10 update is approaching quickly. We have another new Syspool review coming up as well. We're talking to Sandy Berger. We're going to be right back. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering, or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf's staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Whoa, good thing. When he tried going back to school, they arrested him. Hi, I'm Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, TP-Link sent their model RE350K dual-band Wi-Fi range extender with AC1200 support, so it's fast. But even more impressively, this is a plug-in wall wart device that doesn't block the adjacent outlet. Hurrah! It uses an app-based setup that by default maintains the same passwords as your existing Wi-Fi, or you can change them. You can also provide the same network name or a new one. You put it at a point where your original Wi-Fi coverage begins to decay, and it carries everything for another hop away. Bottom line, the TP-Link AC1200 Wi-Fi range extender is a set and forget cure for weak Wi-Fi. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
And welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour here in the second hour of our show, as we are riding high and continuing on talking to Sandy Berger, and we, all these different products. Just did a clock that will run off of water, not even lemon water, just water. Amazing. So yeah, and from what I hear, it's essentially the same technology used if you ever made a clock out of a potato. Essentially the same thing, but yeah, in a much more stylish container than a potato.
Yeah.
So we are continuing on, and yeah, cookies.
Did you make a potato clock? Was it?
I never did. I personally never did.
The only thing I did I made a potato gun. You could push into potatoes and you would take.
Those aren't safe.
Well, Craig, did you play with Mr. Potato Head?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I played.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly, Mr. Potato.
I don't think you can make
some potato experience.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you can make a clock out of a Mr. Potato Head, though. I don't think that works that way.
All right.
I did suck a hard-boiled egg into a bottle using a match.
Yes.
I don't know. Science is weird.
I did that experiment. Except my egg fell apart when it went in there.
You're supposed to hard-boil it, Craig. And
Yeah.
shell it.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah. You can't just put a raw egg on. That won't work.
All right, so this next one is called the M-Cookie 101 Basic Kit First Looks. What are these?
Well, the reason that I put first looks is because I just got this recently and haven't had time to totally set it up yet. But interestingly enough, it's to teach kids programming and robotic type things. But it's really neat. I'm going to show those of you who are watching. This is in the box.
Yeah.
It's just little tiny squares about 1 inch by 1 inch. Okay?
Yeah.
And then they connect to each other magnetically. So you can stack them up. Well, I got to have the magnet on the right side. Whoops.
Oh, they're much smaller than the picture makes them look.
Yes, they're very tiny. They're very tiny little things. And like one of these is Bluetooth, and one of them is USB. One of them is your central device. And then, of course, you also get with it, with the kit, the basic kit, you also get a bunch of little things like microphones, stuff like that. They're very, very tiny.
Yeah, look at that.
But they're made to work with Legos.
So to work with Legos or work
with
as
Legos?
With Lego.
With Legos. So they will connect onto Legos, and you build something out of your Legos, and then you automate it, whether it's a music box or something that lights up when you open the door, or a little robot, or with the more extensive kits, you can even make drones and things like that. And basically, you use the either drag and drop coding, so you do need a computer with this, or it supports several other open source coding type things. So it's to teach kids how to make things, but I could see that adults could have fun with it too.
I'm watching an adult play with it right now on the website.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty darn cute what you can do. Basically, what you're doing is either PC or Mac, you're installing their software so that you can then create whatever you want with these.
Look at this.
What are you looking at right now?
A little box robot, and then a quadcopter. Look at this, he's making a little drone, and then someone else is catching it, and she's taking it apart. And
yeah, so sorry if I'm making you repeat yourself, but does this have anything to do with the Arduino system?
Oh yeah, it runs on that. It supports Arduino system.
Okay. Because Micro Arduino, Arduino, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So the name of the company is Micro Arduino, MicroDuino, and their website is microduino.cc.
Right.
So you basically, you have to download the stuff. And I wondered, one thing I didn't find out is if it works with Chromebooks. It doesn't look like it does, and that's a big problem in the schools. This is a perfect STEM project for, say, a 6th through 8th grader who wants to learn about technology and wants to do all these things themselves. It's just a great idea. Now, I have to actually get into it. And to tell you the truth, I've never built a robot before. I've built computers, but I've never built a robot before. So this will be an interesting project for me. I'm planning on having 2 or 3 of my granddaughters help me with it. And maybe by next month I'll be able to report back to you how it actually worked or what we built.
So what is the difference between the M cookie and the Microduino?
Microduino is the company.
Yeah.
And Arduino is the
well, the M cookie is the product. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Well, it says
M cookie is a product, and then this one is their basic kit is $99. So the stuff is not cheap.
Right.
Well, it says here, so the M cookies were created so anyone who has interest in electronic do-it-yourself projects can easily, make these things. And it says Microduino modules are perfect for those who are looking for more flexibility in their projects. So they're
a Microduino module. Currently, the only modules that they have available are the M cookie. I'm sure M stands for module cookie kit.
Right.
And they might come out with more in the future. Obviously, why they're leaving that a little ambiguous, but. Right now, M cookie is the actual product.
Right, and they've also said that in the future they will be selling these units separately. Where right now it's you get 4 of the modules for and the adjacent stuff that you need to build for $99. But the next kit up is $199, and the kit after that is $299.
Yeah,
are they durable? Because just thinking back on my school experience, stuff gets beat up like crazy. Can these be built unattached, reattached without too much damage?
Yeah, that's the amazing thing. They're plasticky. They're actually, like I said, magnetic. So you don't fool around with trying. I guess. In the past, I've fooled around with trying to get these things together just the right way, and that's how you bend them and have problems with them.
Right.
But these being magnetic, it seems like a very good idea to me, which is why I wanted to take a look at them.
Yeah, they have different modules. They have the motion, motor, audio. I don't know what BM is. Then they have different modules. With each model has its own ability, and then you can put them together. You can make a weather station. It looks like a cube robot car, a self-balancing robot, the quadcopter.
Let's see. The M cookie BM is battery management. So if you want something with a battery, you got to put that. Motion, motor, audio. So it seems like you can build a lot of different things with very, very few of these. Like you have your base. Chip, and then you can kind of get your little things to deal with it.
And the little chips that come with it are actually, they have LED lights, they have a microphone, they have a lot of useful things that you can do with these. So
what I really like is that they offer 3 different kits. They have the 101, 201, and 301. The basic kit, $99. The 201, the advanced kit, and the 301 expert kit. And they in the kit, it's almost like when you get that Gilbert chemistry set. That reminds me,
that one that hasn't been sold for 40 years. Yes.
the erector set. I mean, they give you all the components and you get a bunch of them, and then they give you all the additional support items as well in the kit, so you can make a lot of these different projects. You can buy it by a project. You can buy a cube robot kit. You can buy a self-balancing robot kit, or you can get the expert kit, which allows you to make more than one item, and to me, I think that would be the really cool thing, because then you just can take off and make as many of these things as you like, I would think.
Right, and they're well packaged. I mean, when you hold the package up and you see these things in the package, it's amazing. Very well done, and you can take the top off, and then you get to the other pieces underneath.
Very, very cool.
So it's well packaged, well done. I have just started to look at the instructions and the workshops, the blogs, and everything that they have. I think it's going to be a challenge even for me, so it ought to be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So again, you can check it out at all different. They're in all different price ranges. The microarduino.cc is the website, and they all these different sizes, and they have all different price ranges. So you can check it out.
So I looked up the Gilbert chemistry set. Do you know why they went out of business or why they declined?
Why?
Was because they were violating the Federal Hazardous Substance Labeling Act of 1960 and the Toy Safety Act of 1969 and the Toxic Substance Control Act of 1976. These things were packed with toxins and illegal substances.
Yeah. It was chemicals. I mean, you could really do something. You know, they didn't have the restrictions way back then for these types of things. You know,
lead paint was everywhere, and kids were just playing with bomb-making materials, and it was science. It was fun.
You know, and it came with a book, and you figured if you put these different chemicals, you can make these different projects, and that was, you know, that
like
was
mustard gas. This one and this one.
Those were toys back then.
Who knew? Hopefully, Microarduino is not nearly as dangerous.
The Erector set though wasn't quite as dangerous. That was just a
right. I don't think this is very dangerous at all. I think it's pretty safe. I think it could be used in schools without
shock yourself
without a problem.
And your mom used to use Lincoln Logs. You know, those types of things.
I was choked on one. Those things are dangerous.
Oh, Lincoln Logs.
Get your kids tablets. They're much safer. Much safer.
Okay, so there were a couple of stories that you have on your website, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the Samsung Galaxy S7. You're calling that the best Android phone right now.
That's right.
So tell us about this.
Well, it's called the S7 or the S7 Edge. You've probably heard more about the S7 Edge. But it's just a great phone. It's a phone that my husband got for his everyday phone, and my husband's a realtor, and he is on the phone constantly. Mm-hmm. And the phone is, I can't find anything terribly wrong with it, to be honest with you. It's got a speedy processor chip. It's got a beautiful screen. It takes the best pictures that I've ever seen from a cell phone in low light. Uh-huh. And the way they did that is the previous versions were 16 megapixels, and they downed this to 12 megapixels. So anybody who is focused only on megapixels might think that it would be a lesser camera, but in effect what they did is they put in a bigger CMOS and they put in bigger pixels, and so it takes much better pictures, especially in the evening.
Wow.
Low light pictures are great.
Well, you were the one who basically brought it to our attention that megapixels aren't aren't necessarily the criteria that you measure how good a camera is.
Right. I've written about it for years because for a lot of years they were just kept going fast, more and more and more and more, and more is not necessarily better. Certainly. 1 megapixel is not enough to make a good picture anymore. And yet some phones still have 2 megapixels on their front-facing cameras. Mm-hmm. This one has 5 megapixels, which is perfectly fine for taking selfies and things like that.
Now, this is the larger S7 Edge, has a 5.5-inch screen, as you say, and a curved edge that has some special software perks. What, for example?
Well, since it curves on the edge, it has software that you can actually slide your finger over to use that software, which is very nice if you don't mind the bigger phone. Now, I do have my personal phone right now is an iPhone 6 Plus, and I'll tell you the truth, next phone I get will be a smaller one, because this phone, I thought it would be so much easier to see, which it is, but yet I like the being able to put it in your pocket and go, and you can't with the bigger phones.
The obvious solution to that was a simple reconstructive surgery on your hands to make your hands bigger.
Well, you know, I just had surgery on my hands, and it didn't make my hands any bigger.
Well, you didn't get the deluxe package. You just asked for, cure
Yeah, just
cure
fix
whatever
my
problem.
hand instead of
Yeah.
making it bigger. I got it. Yeah.
Right, you didn't go for the add-ons.
Yeah, you have the 6. I have the 6.
You know, the underwax, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you didn't ask for any of it.
You're right.
The 6S is now. Do you think, by the way, just to go on a sidetrack here, do you think the iPhone 7 is going to be a quantum leap, or we're going to have to wait till it comes out?
We're going to have to wait and see. And that's why I put the best Android phone right now. I would probably call it the best phone right now, because I think it's better than the iPhone. But the new iPhone, one's set out October maybe. They usually come out in October, don't they?
Yes.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if Apple can come up with anything. Now, at their last development conference was a huge disappointment because they were just playing catch-up with everybody else with photos and things like that, and everything was basically announcements about software.
That's true. What's a developer conference? That's why.
Yeah.
They don't really do hardware announcements at the World.
No, they do. No, they do. Last year, I mean, that's when they did the Apple TV and things like that.
Yep, that's true. But the iPhone, again, I mean, they're talking about getting rid of the 3.5 millimeter jack, and Ben's having a cow about that because he thinks that they shouldn't.
Yeah, I think the entire industry should be having a cow over cutting something that had no need to be cut.
Well, I mean, they're doing it for space, I would assume. Do you still use that much?
Personally, no.
Okay.
Personally, no.
Then what's the big deal if they take it away? Not everything, but more and more things are Bluetooth now. And yes, it's going to mean you're going to have to throw away some of your headphones or use them with something else. But I don't. That doesn't bother me at all that they're doing away with that port.
To me, it's a standard that is still so widely used. Like, it's not like, yeah, they're kind of phasing out with Bluetooth, but it's still like I still see people plug in headphones because they don't want to charge their stupid headphones every single time that they want to use them.
This is true.
It's still a widely used thing. Between I used to have a car radio adapter that that went through the 3.5 millimeter. There are still products. I would say the majority of audio products for phones and smartphones still use the 3.5 millimeter jack. The only reason to really take it out, and I'm not buying that they're taking it out to put a second speaker, because they can't even get one speaker right. I don't know why they're trying to get a second crappy speaker in there, but it's so widely used. I get killing old technology, but it's not old yet. There's people are still using it. Companies are still designing products around it. It's not to me. It's just not old enough to kill yet.
Well, there's still people that are complaining because Apple switched to that new adapter, charging adapter,
right.
Lightning adapter, right? So there's still people complaining about that because their old things, won't work.
I wasn't happy about that because I've had a lot of the 30-pin connectors instead of the new 13-pin connectors.
See, you're just old-fashioned. That's all.
But at the same time, there was still a standard there. It's not like they're changing, from cord to wireless. Cords still have a place. So
they are changing from cord to wireless.
I know, and that's the problem. They're going completely wireless, and everything is not completely wireless yet.
I really like the Lightning connector, though. I think to me, compared to that 30-pin bulky connector, geez, it's like a dream because you can plug it in either way.
I know things need to continue to develop, update, come up with new versions. I just don't think the 3.5 millimeter head jack was really, old technology. I didn't think it was old hat.
Okay. Craig, just remind me when I come on the show after Apple comes out with this phone that doesn't have the jack for him, that I won't ask him about it. Okay, remind me.
You can ask me about my new Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge waterproof double edge whatever thing.
Well, that's the other thing about this Galaxy S7. It is waterproof, and the most common accident is actually that the phones get dunked into the toilet, and so the waterproof idea is really good. I love that. But the other thing, that comes back to what we were talking about, lightning chargers and adapters and that Samsung is still using the old adapter that you have to be careful whether it's going in the one direction or the other. You got to kind of struggle to put it in. But this phone has a pad, a wireless charging pad that you have to purchase it. It's like $30 or so. And they have a high-speed wireless charging pad that is definitely worth maybe $10 more. But I was just amazed at how useful that was. You wouldn't think that, okay, maybe you think I'm lazy because, I'm saying it's tough to plug in these phones and that. But this is so nice. You take that S7 phone and you put it on the charging pad. It immediately shows you that it's charging. It shows you how much charge you have left, and it's in big letters. It's not a tiny thing in the corner. And it fast charges it immediately.
How long did it do a full charge?
A full charge was about 3 hours, I think.
Okay.
It was pretty amazing, and it seems like it gives it a really good amount of charge if you leave it on there just for a half hour or so. So I love that wireless charging pad. That's one of the things I really like about this phone.
And that's what I was hoping. I think Apple's going to come out with a wireless charging pad for its phone, and have Bluetooth for the headsets, and waterproof or water resistant. Those are the three things that I'm hoping for the 7's.
And those are all the things that Samsung already has in their S7. So you can see why I've labeled it the best.
Yeah, but I have the 6S, and the 6S has the touch sensitive, the touch 3 thing.
Which is very nice. I like that very much. And if they can come out with one other thing that's actually unique, instead of playing, they'll be playing some catch up with the Galaxy S7, Apple will. But if they can come up with one thing that the S7 doesn't have that's really unique and very useful, that's where it will be popular if they can do that.
They can do what?
If they can come out with one new feature that's not in the Samsung Galaxy S7.
What would that be?
I don't know.
What would you?
Well, I never thought of that touch and press thing that they did with the phone you have.
Yeah, exactly.
So there are things I'm sure that I haven't thought of that Apple has hopefully already thought of. We'll have to wait till October and see for sure.
But whatever one you're not going to get the oversized phone. It's going to be a 7, not 7 Plus.
Yeah, I would go with the smaller one. Oh, one thing that this phone has, and one reason that I got the bigger phone when the iPhone, this iPhone came out, I got the bigger one because it had optical stabilization.
In the camera. Yeah, in the camera.
In the camera.
Right.
And my hands are a little shaky. They always have been, and so I love that feature. But the Samsung S7 has the same thing. The stabilization is built in. So I certainly hope that Apple does that on all their phones this time.
Yeah, exactly. Again, I love the cameras in these phones. I mean, they take such amazing pictures, and of course you have all the features with the panoramic cameras and that you can do, and the different. You can do most of the editing right in the camera into the phone itself. Really, it is. I know even the last trip that we took, we really didn't need to take a camera.
Exactly. You really don't anymore. You can get away with just your cell phone, especially if it's got a camera this good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Sandy, we're pretty much out of time. We didn't get to some of the other stories here, which is the deadline that's encroaching for Windows 10, and if you want a free copy of it, it's supposedly at the end of July, I believe.
July 29th. So if you haven't updated yet, now's the time to do it. Don't wait until the 28th.
Yeah.
Because I've got a feeling that their servers are going to be overwhelmed on that day.
Right, and again, CompuKiss.com is the website.
And you probably include this in the article itself, but you can kind of say, claim my free copy of Windows 10, install it, uninstall it, and you'll be able to reinstall it whenever you want. Like you kind of earmark, yes, I want to upgrade, just not right now. So that is possible.
And
okay.
Sandy will be back with us on August 10th next month, which is again the second Wednesday of each month, and we look forward to having you back on the show, Sandy. But thank you so much for being with us here on
All right, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, stay with us to the end.
Will do.
What do we got? Tomorrow we're going to have Games. GAEMS is going to be on the show. They were on the program a few months back with.
Actually, it's been about a year.
About
yeah.
a year now. Exactly. They make different gaming monitors. They
make portable gaming monitors so that you kind of just pick them up by handle, take them and go. But now they're on for their rail system.
Yeah.
Where you can put your games monitor on rails, and they are much more flexible on a desktop.
And they have different versions. They have a satellite system stand and a weighted system stand. We're going to be talking about both with Mr. Dean Mercier, who's the managing director and co-founder of Games. Is going to be
90
on
seconds.
the show. And that's going to be the first hour. And then the second hour, we'll have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Don't forget, again, on Friday, we're going to be giving away that Logitech M535 Bluetooth wireless mouse valued at $40. Head over to computeramerica.com and get yourself registered. Just do it one time, and then you're set. And you can have up to 5 different entries every week if you do it correctly. It's real simple.
60 seconds.
Again, thanks to Sandy Berger for being here with us, and we should have it should be a terrific show tomorrow, right? In the meantime, I'm going to get my copy of Pokemon Go.
You have it. You just need to catch your first Pokemon.
I have to catch my first Pokemon, and I understand he's probably sitting somewhere on my desk.
You better let us all know when you get that first Pokemon.
Yes, I will do that, and I'll report on that tomorrow. Again, thank you all so much for being here with us, and Ben and I will see you here same time, same place. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you had a good time. And we'll see you here tomorrow from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a good one. Thanks again, Sandy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.